Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 160 podcast.
Today we're going to be talking about comparison, and it's just going to be a little bit of a short episode. But as brothers, comparing is something that's pretty big, so we want to talk about that today.
What's something bad about comparison, Noah?
Comparing each other, like as brothers, comparing can end up to ruining your relationship with your brother or ruining your lifestyle. And I think that if you end up comparing too much, you're going to end up drifting away from even your family or your brother. And I think that's something that you would never want to lose in your life.
That's so deep.
So obviously comparing is not something that you want to do. And it's not really good for you to compare yourself to someone else. And say, for example, you like a famous YouTuber and you love watching them. But you say, I want to be like them. It's not something that you want to do because you're setting your life up for something that you don't even know. Like you could say you love this one YouTuber, but you don't know their personal life because they don't really like to share their personal life. But you want to be like them. So you're not really going to know what you're setting your life for. So, like, even if, for example, like, what are some, like, YouTubers that you like to watch that you think are cool?
I like this one guy, Nick Giovanni.
Nick Giovanni?
Yeah, I don't know how to say
Nick Giovanni, yeah.
Yeah, I like him because he's a good cook.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of his videos about going to Japan. I'm like, oh, I want to go there so bad. Or just watching his Tong Hula videos. That's like one that I always like to do in the kitchen and stuff. So it's always fun. But you have any other YouTubers?
Dude Perfect.
Dude Perfect?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those guys are really cool because they're Christian, but they're also just, it's awesome
they're
to
funny.
see. Yeah, they are really funny, but it's awesome to see that age doesn't stop
Rage
you from
monster.
Age doesn't stop you from doing anything. And I think, not saying they're old, but not saying they're old, but they're getting to the point where that
They're getting old.
they're getting a little bit old, but
No offense, but they're getting.
But their videos are still awesome, and they still are making great content. But for me, I would say there's this guy named Guga Foods, and he makes like crazy foods on like.
Oh yeah, I've seen him. He cooked the whole cow once.
He's so cool, and I think that watching him really inspires me. But I've never really said I want to be like that person because I don't know what my life is looking like. I'm only 12 years old, and I'm doing a podcast, and I don't know where my life's going right now. I'm just following a path. And so I think that creating your own path instead of trying to be like someone else's is really good for you. So there's another guy, Mr. Beast. He's really cool.
Oh my gosh.
And he just hit 200 million, and I think hitting 200 million is wild. And he took a while to hit 100 million, a couple of years, but for 200 million, another 100 million, he only took a few months, which is crazy to see how big he is now. And I think that Mr. Beast, the way that he spends his money, it can be smart in ways, and then it can be super dumb. Because
like spending $1 million on a video.
He spends sometimes maybe $3 million on the video, and then we'll just scrap it. And I'll just be like, what the, like, if you don't like it, he's gonna scrap $3 million. And I'm like,
insane.
Here's the thing, he knows the ways of making money, and he knows how to.
The cheat codes.
He has the cheat codes in a book, and I do think that if a kid were to compare his life to Mr. Beast, he would be set up for either, no offense to Mr. Beast, but I think setting up your life would be for just money, for helping people is great. I love, like, helping people is awesome. But a lot of the times you don't even know much of Mr. Beast's background. I mean, what I know personally is he played baseball as a little kid.
Or he went to basketball.
Played
I think he
baseball
played basketball too.
Yeah, I think so. But I know a little bit of his backstory, but not too much. And so
his old videos.
You don't like the new kids that are starting to watch him. they don't. I'm young too, but the new kids that are starting to watch him, they don't know what his background is, and they say, "I want to be like Mr. Beast." But what really is behind all those videos is it's hard for him, and I would assume so
You
because
think?
I would I would say like Mr. Beast has all that pressure of the money wise and
All that
making
money.
the money. Yeah, you want to be like him a lot of times, and then you just don't want to be like him. You never want to set your life up for someone that you
wanna
don't
be
know.
like you kind of want to be like him for like the generous part.
Yeah, but then it's not like you ever want to be like someone else that you're not, because setting up your life for someone else or setting up your life to be like someone else, you don't even know much of their backstory. So you're just trying to be like, oh, he has a lot of money. Oh, I want to be like him. Or, oh, he has a lot of cool cars. I want to be like him. And it's not going to be like that. And so I think comparing it's a good lesson to learn. And I think
It's not good. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
no, it teaches you a big lesson. It teaches you a valuable lesson of what not to do and not to compare, because it can ruin relationships. It can ruin friendships. And I think that if that happens, then just try and take a break from it, and don't keep trying to fight it, because you're gonna end up on the wrong path. So, obviously we're talking about Mr. Beast and all those things, but let's try and lead into role models and talk about that.
Role models. Role models are different because a role model you actually know versus a person like
A famous influencer?
a famous influencer, which you might know. You might have seen them, but you just don't know them. You don't know what they're like. A role model is someone you see often, whether it's outside, inside, anywhere, at the beach, at the park. You see them around sometimes, and you hang out with them. That's what a role model is. Role model. Yeah. And what are some of your role models?
I think a guy named Asher, who was just on one of her last episodes, and I think Asher, he's one of my role models because he's really cool and he's really good at what he does. And I think that as he grew up in YWAM when he was a little kid, and so did we. So I think
The MKs.
yeah, the MKs, and I think that just how Asher grew up is like he was born somewhere else but then raised here. We are born in Indiana but raised here.
I have something else to add to that. Being in missions, being in YWAM as an MK, it's also cool because you receive a lot of people, more role models, and then sometimes they leave, sometimes they stay. It all just depends on what they're doing. They might do a DTS, or they might be stopping by and you might see them, or they might be friends of the DTS students or the staff. And you just get to know them, and yeah.
Yeah, I do think though that my role models are Asher. I know Asher is one of my biggest ones, but there's also
Asher's one of mine too.
There's a couple of guys out there. Nelson is really cool. He does a lot about like videography, photography, and he's really good at surfing too. So a lot of those things that this guy
Is he though?
Whoa.
I'm just saying.
Watch him come on the podcast and you're gonna get destroyed by him.
Probably will.
But
My role models is for cooking. It's Chison. What's his last name? Ike Uka.
Chison Uzumaki. But yeah, Chison's a really cool guy, and I think that he likes a lot of the same things that I do, and I know he probably likes a lot of the same things that you do. But for me, I think also that's one of my role models because he's really good at cooking, but then he likes to bodyboard, he likes to watch anime, and I think those are two of some of the cool things. And
Boogie boarding.
no, it's bodyboarding.
It's boogie
Write down in
boarding.
the comments if it's bodyboarding or boogie boarding, because
The
it is.
comments?
It's
Whoa,
it's
whoa.
100% bodyboarding, not boogie boarding. Like boogie boarding, your body is on a board. That's why they call it bodyboard. It's not boogie. You don't boogie on the board. It doesn't make sense, right?
I call it a boogie board.
No, it's a bodyboard. I can
Surfing's more impressive.
put that in the comments. Is surfing more impressive than bodyboarding? Go look up drop
It's
knee
harder.
videos.
It's
Go
harder.
look up drop knee videos right now. Go look it up. It's not. I think that you get such more, like, way bigger airs than surfers do.
Comparison. I'm just better. I'm just better. I'm just better.
No.
I got it.
No.
All right.
Hit me with
Ladies and
that.
gentlemen, thank you for watching another 160 podcast. We'll see you on the next
We'll see you
one.
on the next one, guys. Thank you.
So good. I'm so good.
No, you did not.